Hello and good evening, ladies of the and gentlemen of the Digital Athletes League. Tonight, I have myself, Blaze482, with my beautiful producer and co-caster, Hans. And Hans, how are you feeling about tonight's match against of Genesis versus Eclectiq?
Excited. Really excited. Genesis Gaming just played another match yesterday. It went in all three maps, overtime multiple times. Of course, this does not mean much because they didn't play against Eclectic. But this shows us that they, at the very least, have the potential to provide us with a very interesting matchup. You know what I'm saying? So we had the map bans happen prior to the start of the stream just to smooth things out as much as possible. So here are, yeah, it's gonna reload here. Here are our map bans. We saw them beneath us, right? However, here is basically who's gonna start an attack, who's gonna start a defense. So the very first map that we're gonna have is Argon. I have to say it's a pretty typical map, or it always gets picked. And it looks like Genesis will start defending first.
All right. So starting on Oregon, very standard map that you typically see. One of the more practiced and popular maps inside of competitive at this moment. Only recently, surprisingly, being topped by Bank of all maps. And as well, I'm very excited to see how Genesis is going to be performing here in this match. You know, haven't really had a very promising showing coming out from them these past few games that we've seen. And as well, they're not going against any easy competition either. You have Eclectiq, one of the teams inside of SCS currently, I believe their current set of closed qualifiers. And not only are they one of the teams inside the closed qualifiers, but they have been putting up they put up a pretty decent score. If I am remembering correctly, do not quote me. I think I cannot remember the team off the top of my head. I will come back to that specific point in just a moment. But they put up a pretty good score against one of the favored teams to move forward inside of the Solar Flare, not Solar Flare, but Storm competitive series, bringing two games to a full 12 rounds played out. So I'm quite excited to see how they will be performing here today in this side of this series for the Digital Athletes League.
I am very interested to see how that is going to turn out as well. We have all 10 players in the lobby. Eclectic, as we said, are going to be attacking first, by extension of Genesis defending first. The only thing I want to ask the players, though, is Eclectic. ECLCT. Oh, yeah, and there is a typo in the team's name, so that's slightly embarrassing. We'll fix that. However, in the meantime, we said Eclectic. Saw spawn sites for OT. I have to say, I was not supposed to be casting tonight. It's always kind of hectic if you have the guy running cams also casting because, oh, hey, I'm supposed to be entertaining the stream. And at the very same time, I am kind of typing with the players in the game chat, right? So I am so sorry about that. So it looks like Goons for Eclectic says they want to defend first on OT. That means that on OT, the blue team will have to attack first. Blue team being Genesis. You know, the kind of stuff that I would just think in my head. But since I'm supposed to be talking to entertain you guys, here you have it. I am talking alone. Let me just alt-tab to get that game full screened.
All right, and I do actually have the specific match from the SES this
Go ahead.
past day. It wasn't full 12 rounds, but Eclectic actually took one shot LFO to two separate 7-4 matches, one on Bank and one on Chalet. And of those matches, Z on Bank and Goons on Chalet were the outstanding players for their teams, having quite some pretty decent games against the Challenger League roster. And so I'm quite excited to see what they can do inside of this match. We are just currently waiting for both teams to give us the go on site of their ready check.
Looks
But-
like Genesis are ready to go. Look, just waiting for the Eclectiq heads up. Yeah, I haven't heard a and Koala saying they are ready to go. So, my man, are you ready? Because I believe I am. GLHF in chat. And let's jump right into it, shall we? The cat is sleeping on the stream deck. That does not help me out.
Cats, if I fits, I sits. Always. But
That's how they roll, definitely.
moving on, we're going to be having Genesis starting on the defensive side and Eclectiq on the attacking side. I'm going to be expecting some pretty standard default bans. I'm going to say Thatcher, Flores, Valkyrie, Kaid. Not necessarily in that order, but some variation of those 4 ops. But I forget it is Genesis. They love banning Zofia and Mute. So I'm going to be expecting either a Thatcher. I'm going to be changing these bans up. Now that I remember which teams I am casting, it's going to be Zof Thatcher, then Mute, and Kaid, or Valkyrie. And
I'm sorry, I just realized the Eclectiq Genesis are in the DAL VC, but Eclectiq aren't. I'm gonna have to ask them to join up. If ever they need a bit of time to swap the servers, I can just pause timer for like 5 seconds. That's gonna be like, oh, I mean, I'm gonna count as them asking for a rehost or anything. Just because it was the grand final of, I want to say, season 2 or 3, maybe around those times. They had a coach sitting in and, you know, just saying, just generally helping out. I was thinking to myself, this is just, you know, community level players wanting to improve upon themselves. However, from a competitive integrity standpoint, yeah, you have to clamp down on those things. And so the players are now here. We are absolutely sure, because I can see on the side, that they don't have a second player helping them out, or a second coach helping them out and calling out, don't forget about your flank or something. You know, tunnel vision when you're playing. So that aspect of competitive integrity will be upheld. I'm totally sorry that I kind of switched gears drastically. So yeah, why don't we go back to what you were saying?
No, it's perfectly all right. You know, it's always nice to give the viewers a little bit of a peek inside of what goes into making the league function and to the standards that we all desire and uphold. Now, as you saw there, we actually did have Mira be 6 pick onto from a Oryx, and I believe that was Z 6 picking. No, it was Semi who 6 picked onto Lion. I didn't quite catch who he was on before that, but we see a very aggressive lineup coming out from Eclectiq. Now we have 3 sets of frag grenades on Goon, presumably Z, and Koala, and as well 6 flashbangs. But as well on Genesis side, we have a lot of utility, catch, and to be burned through. English is a little bit hard. I didn't quite do my vocal warm-ups before going into this. That's shame on me. But you're going to have the magnets and the ADSs that are going to be contesting those frag grenades. And yes, we do actually have Z frag grenades equipped. So that's going to be a lot of ordnance being tossed at these defenders. But as well, there's going to be a lot of ordnance that has to be burned through by the attackers here, mostly Haiku and Semi. And we also do have an interesting site here to start off. We're going to be in the kitchen and dining split with a upstairs roam and extension into attic and kids.
I was wondering when you were going to bring that up, because this is the kind of odd one. The interesting thing, if you look at the casters chat, we have Boxy who posted the results, the stats from the not the Rally Major. I'm looking at the past, goddamn, the Sweden Major. Thank you. And so the dining room has something like a 30-some% win rate for the defense, which is, you know, crazy low when you think of it. And so this is why I'm pretty surprised to see Genesis go there of their own free will without being forced to do so because they won, you know, in the basement of the top floor beforehand. However, it looks like Behemoth does not really care about statistics, as no matter where you're standing, a bullet to the face is likely to end
goodness.
Wow. Not just your day or your life, but the entire push is falling apart. Already, Semi still droning out. Haiku, for the time being, basically in a 1v5 situation with, you know, intel, especially if Semi helps out. But, you know, there's just people everywhere. He seems to know that Dubs is right there. And, of course, watch. Sorry, my bad. That's going to be a free kill. But there's going to be another one that was SMG-11. Oh, no, MP5K. My bad. At that range, still a very powerful gun. Haiku does not seem to be spotted out. He is gonna, yeah, go in there, but at the end of the day, Genesis is there. Yejosa is just gonna react out of, well, you know, reaction time, accuracy, and that good stuff. And that is going to be the end of the first round. Did I say this bomb set was defense sided? It looks like, you know, stats are just there to be laughed at.
Yeah, just I can't even form the words. You know, it's just for being in a side that is very much so attacker favored and just showing that level of dominance against this team of Eclectiq. It's really shocking, but those blisteringly fast kills, Dubs with a 2K, and Bembo getting the 3K on that round, if I am seeing that correctly. If we can just flash the scoreboard for a quick second.
Give me a half a second. Looks like their coach
Yep.
was not in the team roster. So I have to give somebody coach like real quick.
Okay, no problem.
There you go. Okay, you wanted to see this.
Yeah, it was actually 2 2Ks and a single kill because I forgot that Yeji Sosa, Yeji got that final frag onto Haiku inside of the dining door by Green Hall, but we are moving on, and I believe that is actually our second first floor site. We're going to be seeing the meeting and dining kitchen split come out. So we're going to be seeing a very interesting site rotation coming out from Genesis here. Very well could actually catch Eclectiq off guard yet again. We're going to be seeing as well three actually of those reworked bulletproof cameras on Yacht, Yeji, and Bembo. Now, for those who might know, the bulletproof cameras this season were reworked where they not only have a EMP burst that can temporarily, for 5 seconds, disable attacker utilities such as drones, air jabs, claymores, what have you, through a short radius, even through walls, but as well, you can now rotate them up, down, left, right, diagonally, any which way you choose within an 180-degree cone of the deployed camera, making them way better utility for the defense, and as well, a lot more utility that the attackers have to chew through. But we are going to be seeing a tower side clear coming out from Eclectiq, so that is going to be a lot of pressure onto Yeji inside of Attic here.
Thing is, Yeji's in a very linear position, so it's going to be hard to like outflank or outsmart Yeji. As I'm not the one lagging, he is. Okay, if we were to lose Yeji, oh no, that ping. Oh well, the attackers already have Attic, they just don't know it yet. Oh no, please don't. Yeji's back. Okay,
coming back, but Haiku going for the flank here.
They have full control of site. This is actually huge. A post-ban situation is going to be forced. There's no way to deny that. It's too late. Like, Yeji lagging did not keep patch at the crucial time. Did you say your internet was bad yesterday? It looks like Chromecast failed Yeji right now.
Oh no. Yeah, Yeji unfortunately being cursed by my technical difficulties that seem to follow me through every league there, having a massive lag spike, but now we have Dubs in a now 1 versus 4 situation as they take out Semi. 16 seconds left, not really going to make too much happen here. Fixing to get crossfired by Z and does take down Dubs in the end. What an amazing attack coming out from Eclectiq here to secure the round in a what is fairly unfortunate situation coming out from Genesis there, as not only did they get the first pick off onto Yacht, but as well Yeji getting picked off and essentially removed off the match from their ISP there.
Yeah, at the very least, we're not gonna have, you know, a tactical timeout or something like that, so it's ideal. Yeah, let me just do like the 1 or 2 things that I would be doing in the background, and you wouldn't hear me do that if I was like. So yeah, just host for a few more seconds.
Yeah, no problem. But we are going to be moving on to what is a more standard site that you would see in a standard rotation here, that being the kids and dorms site. Now, this is typically what you would see coming out from the majority of teams as either the primary or secondary site, the other primary or secondary being the basement site and laundry. and storage. But we are going to be seeing this as the tertiary in this match for Genesis. And as well, the lineup here is just going to be focused in around denying not only information, but the armaments, thrown armaments that Eclectiq are going to be bringing in those frag grenades and flashbangs. And as well, we're going to be seeing the same lineup for the most part as the first round from Eclectiq here. And that's going to be really powerful since there is no longer a Wamai on the board, but it's still going to get stymied since Yacht is on another utility denying operator of the Aruni, which also has two very powerful guns, those being the Roni and the Mark 14.
Oh yeah, you never want to underestimate an Rooney. I have to say though, as the defender, this can lull you into a sense of false security, especially if there's a lion right there. But he's looking the wrong way, Semi. It was a free kill.
Oh no.
Oh, so disappointing. Well, you know, we see through the walls, they don't. So at the end of the day, if they were to hit every single one of the shots, or if they were to know everything, it would borderline on, you know, suspicious territory. So I get that, but at some point they're gonna react to each other's presence, and thus the firefight erupts.
Yes,
I like Aruni.
Aruni is such a good operator, such a fun operator too. You know, take some of the best guns, the best gun from Mozzie, add a little bit of the best pistol from Capitao, and as well a pretty fun DMR from Dokebi. But as I was saying, that Semi on one of the most previously oppressive operators takes out Bembo, but Yacht gets another refrag onto Haiku, but Goons with another one onto Yeji. Bubs contesting front door, don't prone there! Z gets another onto Dubs, and we're now in a 4 versus 2, make that 3 versus 2 situation for Genesis. They are going to have to try and find Z on this low HP. Goons, however, eating the damage by burning an Aruni gate, puts 60 HP back on the board for Eclectiq, making this just an even steeper mountain to climb for Genesis going into this final minute.
We did praise Aruni a lot, but I gotta say, Maddox with the UMP45 playing with one of the weakest, if not the single weakest gun in the game. And let's not have that discussion right now. So it really is going to be up to Maddox's like one-tap headshot skills and why watch, because other than that, you know, the UMP45, except if you're Canadian, in that one clip that everybody knows, you know, the one I'm talking about, why am I so much better than you? You're playing Twitch, Geo. But you know, with the voice cracking. But if you're not Canadian, you know, you can't really pull this off. So everything hinges on why watch. Only 10 bullets in the mag. You might want to reload that. 7 bullets. Yeah,
unlucky.
No. You are now gonna have to absolutely outdo yourself, but that is not to be. Eclectiq winning the round.
Yeah, a nice shot coming out from Koala there, and a little bit of an overextension on that swing coming out from Maddox. That was a very poor round coming out from Genesis there. It seems like they had every advantage going into that second minute, but the collapse coming out from Eclectiq just was too much. You had Goons, Koala, not Haiku. Haiku kind of just ran in, but Koala and Goons really putting in some good work there to swing the favor back into their team, putting them into a 3 versus 1. And we're going to be seeing here the first time, that's a little bit strange saying, given we're going into round 4, but the first time that we're going to be seeing the basement defense coming out from Genesis.
Sorry for that once again. Okay, so yes, Genesis. They're not going to be going in the basement, and I feel like they need the W here because it's kind of odd, right? They went into dining the like weird room, and I suppose the advantage of surprise probably was a big factor as to why they won, because at the end of the day, you know, this is the only point they managed to take, and the last round that we just saw was quite decisive. You couldn't just say, oh, it happened because the one hit the lucky headshot, or you know, whoever has the quickest reaction time. Basically, a face-to-face gunfight is a coin flip. That last round did not come down to a coin flip. So now we are going to be seeing a situation where Genesis really wants to go into the single best bomb site, statistically speaking, in this map. For the defense, that is. Behimbo here with the roaming game. Being Matzi could create a bit of confusion with regards to the enemies with like a dead zone for the drones. That's not going to be the case. Destroying one with the Prismas, no alibis, no the other type of holograms. The Gemini Replicator, thank you so much myself. Yeah, so shooting down the hologram, fleeing away. It's just unfortunate that it wasn't like a true player, but, you know. And then again, I would hardly expect Eclectiq to just fall through the window without actually looking around to make sure there's nobody, you know, roaming. So right now, Behimbo is going to be at the top of the white stairs. This is both a good and a bad thing, because you have a nice vantage point. However... Oh, no, it's going to see it. However, you know, it's quite easy to cut off if, you know, Behimbo wants to run away, which we're seeing right now. There's somebody behind that drone while he shoots down the drone, while Z is there to shoot and to take his life away. Leaving us with the other silhouette who's roaming. That is going to be Y-Watch. I guess you could hardly say they're roaming, but... Still, harassing the attackers as much as possible to make it just a tad harder for Hibana to breach the hatches is something, and oh my, no!
Goons with a good and well-placed pre-fire down onto the main stairs does end up taking down Yacht, and now putting Genesis into a 3 versus 5 situation with the execute coming down from Freezer stairs. One player close, but it's a Gemini. Baited out, and now the position revealed for Yeji here. Dubs, however, sitting back inside of bunker, watching through target store onto the stairs. Drone does get missed, and now 2 of the 3 players for Genesis, Yeji and Maddox, are revealed, and down the main stairs. Goons with a second onto the round, cleaving through the dying breaths of the Genesis defense on this 4th round. Dubs contesting Semi on the back stairs, fixing to be droned out, however. And as well, we see Z from Freezer does get the pick onto Maddox, who was playing over by Closet, and now Haiku planning by default bomb. Dubs, however, does get a late refrag onto Z, now in a 1 versus 4 situation, aware of the player inside of Pillar, but they have the bomb down. They don't need to take these peeks. They can play immensely safe here. A prone coming out from Semi, not going to be landing any damage, but does take some in return. Now just going for the quick peeks, and the second prone does do in Dubs. We now see Eclectiq up 3 rounds to 1, going into the 5th of this half.
It is quite the gap. I mean, at this point, except for dining, Eclectiq have won on every single one of the bomb sites that can be chosen from. God damn it, those hiccups. And so what is there left for Genesis? Are they going to go back into dining? Because if you look at the historical data, this is seemingly the only way they can win points. But then again, this is one of the weakest bomb sets in the game, so they're going to go into kids, and they are going to hope to basically have a better track record, better execution than what we saw last time. However, the problem I have with that, and I'm not saying Genesis are making a mistake, because then again, in such a situation, there's no right or wrong answer. They are going to be attempting to pull off a defense, which they've already shown to Eclectiq, right? So this is going to make it so that Eclectiq already know what they're going up against even more than last time around. You know, the slight adaptation period to realize how the defense is being set up is not going to be necessary, which should even further increase Eclectiq's advantage. You know, looking at the one factor in a bubble is not exactly representative of the entire situation, because then again, you could also argue that Genesis had 1 round to realize what does not work with our strat and basically try to improve upon those previous failings. Are we gonna see? Why would you put a regular barricade here if the strat was to put a castle barricade? That right here makes it seem as if the strat is kind of half-baked, because somebody reinforced here without knowing that they shouldn't reinforce there. So it might have been that they're, I don't want to say improvising.
I wouldn't say half-baked, but for sure not practiced as well as you would expect.
I might have been too aggressive there, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, but just not as practiced. Oh my goodness, not again. Semi on the same position on Satellite UFO, getting a second pick from on this site. Same position, different player, however. Yacht going down in the first minute, half a minute actually, of the round, putting Genesis at a very, very large disadvantage here. Semi now sitting at a cool 6-3, and Yeji now being put down to just a little bit over 45 HP. This is looking dire for this Genesis side. Dubs as well being droned out. That's going to eat up a solid 30 seconds to try and rotate around, maybe get back to site. And
Yes.
as well, just Eclectiq sitting pretty here, health advantage and man advantage sitting clearly and comfortably inside of their court.
So I will be. I usually don't deal with absolutes because you cannot dumb the entire game down to basically a true or false question. However, at that point, looking at Genesis defense, there's 3 guys on site. The attack is like in the driver's seat. There's no question about that. So I will be dumbing it down to an absolute. If Dubs can pull something out of his hat, Dubs can still save the round because the guys on site are not going to be able to withstand the push. This is my absolute I'm dealing with right here. Just to answer a quick question in chat, yeah, we're letting the players stream their POVs. Of course, they're not going to be allowed to like protest for a stream hack, or stream sniping, sorry. So better be sure to have a clear delay in place. But yeah, why not? So the push is coming in. It looks like Yeji is going to be flanked pretty quickly. Oh yeah, that was just a matter of seconds. Behimbo is going to try something. Maddox taking player, and she goes down. So Behimbo trying to go for the refrag. Not going to happen. Dubs now has to pull through. Gets one. Looking for a second. That's going to be the diffuser down. But at the same time, the other guys on site are going to die. And Behimbo also gets refragged. Nice attempts made. Eclectiq still coming out. No, Genesis still coming out on top. Sorry.
No, that was Eclectiq.
Eclectiq. Oh gosh, okay, so the logos and the overhead bar are on the wrong side and nobody told me.
Uh-oh.
You know, once again, if I was to be only the producer, I would have... One of the casters that was supposed to be there had a terrible sleeping experience yesterday night, which is why they weren't there. Not blaming anybody. I just wished, that kind of life, the random stuff life throws at you, I would love for it to be a bit more positive than, somebody else coming up and say, hey, I would absolutely love to cast tonight, or hey, some other plans fell through. Do you need a caster tonight? That would have been awesome. But no, I'm here casting with you, enjoying myself. I don't know why I'm complaining. I'm just overworked. Thank you. Okay, but let's not talk about ourselves. Let's talk about the players, because this is not a me stream. This is about a game stream, or a league stream. So we, for the very last round before the role swap, are going to see Genesis go into dining again. I like what I'm seeing because, once again, historical data says this is where they win their round singular. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, don't you? So with any luck, they're gonna be able to pull another round just in time for the role swap.
Yes, and it's not only are they going back to the only side that they've managed to claw a victory from, but as well, I think that if they want to end this split 2 rounds to 4, we need to see Yacht, we need to see Yeji, and we need to see Maddox try and pull away with at least 1 extra kill here, and to aid and support their team. Genesis hasn't really been getting the frags outside of Dubs and Bembo here. So see these 3 players on just a single kill potentially claw through and get another frag under their belts would be a boon for their side. But as I say this, a line scan and the tower take, and as I say that, Yeji with a nice C4 onto Koala, one of the better performing players this match, opening it up for Genesis to hold out and play for time a little bit here, but we do actually have goons here as well going for a Zed Hall take. But right now, just currently fending for and vying for positioning as Semi gets a late refrag on the Yeji.
I just want to say your mic or your audio quality went down a notch again. Robot voice. That's due to the network. So if ever somebody is downloading anything or uploading anything, stupid joke here. Yeah, maybe kindly ask them to throttle the speed there. Oh, Behimbo trying to get back, but that's the thing, out of context with no intel, no pre-fires. Behimbo was just walking right into a trap. Dubs' position is predictable, not reacting properly. Maddox now once again alone in a 1v4 situation. Way too much time left for the smoke canisters to be any useful. And Eclectiq is gonna win the kill due to Lion.
Yeah, Eclectiq getting a very good round secure there, putting themselves up 5-1 on the split. That is going to be dire if you're on the side of Genesis. That means you have to at least secure 5 clean rounds just to guarantee overtime here, because we're going to be going to the most defender-favored side on all of Oregon, that being the Laundry and Supply split site. That has an overall from the previous Sweden major win rate for the defenders of nearly 70%, sitting at 68 in 25 rounds played. That is a extraordinarily high number, even for that few of rounds there.
Indeed, so many things to do at once. So many things. Can I has an admin, please? So. Looks like we are going to be seeing Eclectiq have an extended top floor presence, and you know what that means. They are going to be looking at holding this hatch right here, looking into E-box. The point being, if we have vertical, they can't go through. This has the side effect, well, unintended, but very much present, of forcing them to basically set up a secondary bomb site. Looking at the amount of castle barricades, reinforcements, mute jammers, you know, any kind of utility, you name it. I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing any, like, barbed wire or anything like that. Well, there's no barbed wire on that setup to begin with, but if they were to pick them, they would definitely be using the razor wire, as Smoke would say, up top. The point being,
Oh no.
Diluted defenses, but then again, so many harder points to hit for the attack. They cannot just go for the bomb site itself. And it looks like Koala is going to be so aggro, gets a double, gets put down right after that. Dubs being the top fragger, uncontested top fragger of their team. If Lion goes, the entire team is basically lost at this point.
Yeah, that is really, really tragic for Genesis, allowing the single roamer not only to take out your primary entry, but your secondary as well. That is absolutely critical that you do not let that happen. And it took a very long time for that refrag coming out from Dubs as well, nearly got contested by stepping on white stairs there, but since that is an unknown position, can't really go for the clear there. Matt's currently going to as well open up at a cache in alliance and coming out, but any player outside of a mutual is not going to be plotted out, and Yeti with a nice one tap on Goose to open up the site. And
Man,
as well
I'm so sorry. You are robot voicing the entire time.
Oh my goodness.
I do not know if you have any way of knowing, like, it was fine at the beginning of the stream, at the beginning of the match, so I do not know if anything changed on your end. Somebody else, you know, downloading or the speed going down because, you know, you name it. But if ever there was a way for you to, like, go for a quick troubleshooting session, I would appreciate that, and I believe the stream also would. So let me just solo this for like a round or two if you need it. I can cover for you.
I think I may or may not have fixed my issue.
So far
here?
it's good. So far it's perfect.
Okay.
I mean, the sample size is just 2 sentences, so we'll have to wait and see, but so
Yeah.
far it's looking good.
So far, so good. But again, as you said, that could change at any moment. Sort of like Genesis here, putting themselves up 2 players to 1. Now going for the plant here,
Oh,
putting
no.
Z in a 1 versus 1 situation off a nice headshot secured by him as well. Flashbangs coming out from Maddox, but Z's position known and their HP low. Bearing 9 being brought out for the close quarter situation. Z full flashed as well. Maddox not going for the swing just yet, waiting for the second flash. But no! Z securing it out after being fully blinded, and Maddox not catching the player out in the end.
Slightly, ever so slightly disappointing, I have to say. So unfortunate. It really is. All right, so that is going to be yet another point for Eclectiq. They definitely are on a roll. As a reminder, the only point that Genesis won was the very first round. Why does that matter, you ask? Well, simply put, because of momentum. It now has been 6 rounds since Genesis has won anything, and the morale is bound to be slightly going down at this point. If this keeps up, Eclectiq are simply going to be able to ride the wave up until the victory. I totally realize this is Surf Esports' motto, but I did not intend for that pun to be actually a Surf Esports reference, as they're not in the league right now.
Yeah, just kind of, as you said, ride that wave, or follow the momentum, keep it rolling, and continue the snowball that they very clearly have secured since that first round. Second round, going up 6 straight rounds, potentially a 7th straight round, and completely reversing the score line and getting a pretty much clean 7-0 after round 2.
Yeah, I mean, it is not going. There's going to be a footnote to that 7-0 should Eclectiq win the upcoming round. Which, I mean, given the round history, I do not see why they would not. Nothing so far is indicative to me that they are making a mistake to begin with, which would hypothetically lead to them losing the round. But let's take a look at this. Early spawn peaks, Z being aggressive, slowing down a big part of the attack.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean to sound like a defeatist, but. Yeah, how can Genesis come back from that? It's just, quote-unquote, just the Iana. So yeah, like, utility-wise, gun-wise, it's not the single best operator you lost. Grenades are unfortunate, don't get me wrong. Plenty of intel, but then again, everybody already has drones to begin with. Thing is, I'm not really talking about, oh, well, you lost a player. I'm talking about you're being dominated through and through, is the honest situation right now. So they can ill afford to have a numerical advantage simply because there was a spawn peak which they didn't account for. So it is good to see that Z, the second top fragger of their team, is going to go down, as this is going to give Genesis a fighting chance. I say as Goons with the roaming game is just going to be too aggressive. They cannot manage to shut this down, unfortunately. This is like a big problem right now. You can't push into sight with the roamer, and you can't flush out the roamer because Goons is too good, is like the short version of it. So what do you do? Answer is, oh man, if I ever knew, I would be a pro player myself.
Don't do this, Semi. Don't just melee the window. That is the last thing you want to do, but thinks better of it. Going for this pre-line C4, and oh no.
Wait,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. Why Watch is not there anymore.
Okay.
Looks like Maddox gets a kill, though. Nicely done.
From the game, Breach does get a pick onto HiQ, putting it in an even man count situation now. Health still favoring Eclectiq here, but some missed shots onto Semi allows them to reposition over towards the kids, rotate. But Yeji now pushing into sight, ever so dangerously close to these players, does take their life by Koala. Nice crossfire coming out from Semi and Koala here, but big window hop in is known, and wall being opened up, plant going down, 2 versus 3 situation. This is doable. Very doable. T4 goes, flies out. Now Yacht in the 1 versus 3 situation, 1 HP, and Koala. Nice shots with the bailiff to close out the round. Unfortunately there, we do not have any more game for this match. It is ended in 7-1 fashion for Eclectiq, winning in very dominant fashion there against Genesis. Unfortunate for them as well, as they really could have used those points moving outside of today for Genesis, but that was not the story of the day.
Oh, wow. So yeah, it looks, I'm going to ask the players if they want to have a 5 minutes break. Or do we jump into the second match? Question mark. Because if the players want you to break, I am good with like the amount of water there's left in my water bottle. Both teams looking like, well, Goons just asked for a 5 minutes break, but literally everybody else in the server asked for the match to be started right away. And Goon's just saying, never mind. Okay, so you know what? You know what? I am going to let you debrief what happened, analyze what happened, in just the amount of time it's going to take me to like set the map, set the spawn signs and such.
Alrighty, and moving on after that Oregon match, we will be moving on to Clubhouse here, but
No, Villa.
that
Clubhouse just was the next
oh
one in
oh
the
my
playlist,
Villa,
so the game auto selected that.
my bad. Thank you for correcting me. But we will be moving on to Villa, and that is actually going to be very interesting, given that I think that both Oregon and Villa play out pretty similarly when it comes to the style of takes that you typically see happening. Those being takes coming at either being a direct take or a clear from the other side of the map over to where the actual site is. For example, let's say Oregon basement, going from you can either do a more direct take, that being the bunker tower take, or you could do a more clear style of take, that being the freezer over, where you have a player on main stairs. And there are similar styles of takes that you can do on Villa. For example, Aviator Games, either a direct study take or where you have a player on 90 window or doing a master over. Uh, so I don't think that's going to really favor Genesis moving into this map either, given that their roam and their run clear was not up to snuff to where you want to see, given how Eclectiq has gone into this match. And that is going to be a real detriment should we not see any good improvement here. But we actually are going to be seeing Maddox being subbed out for the power.
The power.
The
So we
power.
are ready to go. I am saying good luck, have fun in chats. And the cat is still sleeping on the stream. That got that. Why, if it fits, I sits. But why do you have to do this, please?
Alrighty,
And
now
the cat
just
stretches. Okay. So they're cute, but goddamn, can they be annoying? Yeah, and I didn't even click the button because there you go. Okay, yeah. So we got Genesis Eclectiq, with like a few things wrong actually. First and foremost, the point for the first map has not been counted. So if I do this, we are going to see it soon-ish, I hope. And Genesis is on the other side. If I do this, okay. Oh, right, because I didn't tag it as being like match winning points. There you go. Okay, so map bans, operator bans. Thatcher, what a surprise. Zero, slightly more surprising though.
Uh, I'm not as surprised to see the Zero ban coming out here. Zero on Villa specifically, I feel as though is similar to banning Zero when it was on when Chalet was not Chalet, but Consulate was still inside of the map hole. He fills a very similar role to the Nomad on Consulate. That being, he is a roam clearing operator and has not three but four different points in which he can deny a roam or call out a roam game. And as well, his roam denying is also utility clear. That being those Argus cameras can shoot a laser that can clear any one singular non-bulletproof piece of utility. And we do actually have a tech pause coming out here inside of the preparation phase, which gives me some more time to talk stats and these operator bands.
Feel free to do so.
Mute here actually not a just okay, that's what Genesis does type ban, but actually a pretty powerful ban on Villa, because not only can you deny multiple walls and droning, but as well, that is a C4 operator that is frequently brought, and site setup being denied as well. And here as well, we'll see from Eclectiq's lineup, we're not going to be seeing any SAS operators currently. We have Thunderbird, Jaeger, Wamai, Bandit, and Valkyrie, meaning that either Wamai or Valkyrie.
Oh no, your internet is
Oh,
internet. Yeah, that probably wasn't my end because I had issues pushing the stream to Twitch for a few seconds there. So sorry about that. I kind of did cut you off. And on top of that, I was at fault.
that is
Go ahead.
that no, that is fine. I had a little bit of a hiccup and hitch from my Discord there for a second. And right now, currently, from the previous stats for the Sweden Major, we actually have Villa being an overall 57% defender favored map. All of these sites have an over 50% win rate when they have been brought. Aviator Games being a 50%, 64 for Trophy Statue, 56 on Kitchen and Dining. And in the 4 rounds that it was brought out during the Sweden Major, Living Room and Library had a shocking 75% win rate. But again, that is a small sample size, meaning that 3 of the 4 rounds that it was brought, it was also won. But right now, Thatcher and Mira, those are just 2 standard default bans. Thatcher is just an extremely and overtly powerful attacker currently inside of the meta, and Mira, ever since she has been introduced, has been a meta-defining and um, map warping operator, completely changing how you play the game around this specific utility that she brings. And currently, I don't think there's too much else I can discuss here. I could continue to debrief the previous game, but I feel as though I had all my other points that I wanted to bring up
So
already good here.
So yeah, we could maybe talk a bit about more than just strats and stats and theoretical numbers. What can we expect coming from these players in particular? For example, was it Haiku that was roaming last round or last match with Jaeger being like quite aggressive, being quite nimble, and kind of just evading the attacker's detection? Eclectiq, won it by a freaking landslide. Genesis's momentum being really low, well, non-existence to be fair. Haiku saying they are ready, and that was the team of Haiku Eclectiq asking for the pause, correct? No, that was I watched from Genesis asking for the pause. Haiku, do not try to confuse me here. Not cool. Yes, so for example, we had a few sneaky roamers. There's like, if I was to be to paint them with a broad brush, is that how you say it? I'd say you can either have like roamers who are going to be kind of anchoring outside a bomb site. Think, for example, if we were to be defending into trophy statues, like is the case here, you can have somebody just anchor down and try to protect the other bomb sites area, right, into aviation and games, just to make it as hard as possible for the attackers to gain any kind of foothold on the building as a whole. What's the max of 5 minutes? Yeah.
And yeah, that is a good point to bring out there. We had Haiku and Z specifically being the primary roamers coming out from Eclectiq. And not only were they the primary roamers, but as well, they were almost completely unstopped by Genesis in that previous match. And not only were they unstopped, but they seemed extremely potent at their specific roaming duties. If we want to ignore that little bit of a
Oh, you know what? Let's get our faces back
mishap.
on, because that's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be maybe a bit more entertaining.
Okay, so
Oh,
it looks as though Moss was actually being blocked by Dub's firewall. So
not cool. That's not cool. Okay, question though: was Dubs running Moss on the first map?
I would presume so because you have to close out Moss in between maps to have the specific files ready. So I would assume that was Dub's Moss on reboot for the second map being detected as a virus. So having to permit and allow that app through the firewall there,
So
which is a little bit of a tedious process, might I
we've
add.
we've had it ready for the players. I have to
All
say,
right.
with the 3 minutes or 3 minutes of delay, if the players were intent on like pushing their luck, they probably would have been able to like just go on the stream and see the enemy team's composition, because we've been sitting on that screen for for more than 3 minutes. Also, another like kind of little random anecdote I'm gonna say. I don't know if you kept kept an eye on the chat, but Vega Competitive posted a link on Maddox's Twitter saying LFT again. So they posted like just a few minutes ago. I am not sure of the context behind that tweet because, of course, I was like sitting here talking to you guys instead of like doing detective work. But it might seem as if that previous defeat was severe enough for Maddox to just say, screw it, I'm leaving the team. Which I really hope is not the case because as a competitive player, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some and you're going to lose a lot of matches before you get any good. Trust me, I know. I lost and I never got any good, period. So, out of context, cannot, you know, state anything for sure. But, yeah, that looked kind of weird-ish. If everybody knows more, let us know. Nitro Cell? Nitro Cell? Oh.
I actually just went to Maddox's Twitter, and it turns out as though Genesis benched them after that first map.
Oh. Oh. Okay, external factors more than just, yeah, I'm gonna say like a bailing out, basically. So then Genesis reacting quite quickly, and you know, internal affairs, it's not up to me to comment on those, but my intuitive response would be bring it a sub when you presumably have better cohesion and synergy with your main player because you're practicing with them more. In the middle of a best-of-3 series might not be the best because, as we're saying right now, Eclectiq, well, might not be the best, but it seems to be working, rather. I'm swapping the teams here because they're on their track to get, and they are going to get a flawless run for the very first round, off to an extremely good start after a disastrous first map. For their sakes, and for the sake of everybody in chat rooting for them, let's just hope that this trend continues. I, as the caster admin referee, have to remain neutral, so I'm going to say I am going to wish for Eclectiq to get a similar amount of victory, just as much as I hope for Genesis to get the W.
Yeah, very different start there coming out from Genesis. Bembo and Yeji getting some very key opening picks, and as well, Dubs closing it out for the side of Genesis. Pretty strong start coming out from them. Eclectiq, maybe as a result of that tech pause, could have cooled off just a little bit, so that could be a factor moving into this match here.
It very well could be. You never know, right? Rainbow Six being such a big momentum-based game, I suppose this could have been a factor as to why Eclectiq said, let's not take a 5 minutes break. Not Eclectiq. Yes, Eclectiq. The overhead bar is still on the wrong side. Mattman and I are in a love-hate relationship. So, yes, as I was saying, Eclectiq, they won the first match with a decisive victory, which could have been a decisive factor as to why they kindly asked to not take a break in between the maps. And yet, there you have it. And yet, you know, it was out of their hands. But Genesis asked for that, you know, tactical time. Could have been a rehost. It was not like a tack timeout for the coaches to talk to the players, right? And that probably killed the momentum, which in that case would, of course, favor Genesis. And oh, look how it did favor them.
Yes, and
oh,
here
no, they are feeling aggressive.
Oh my
Bruno, what's that semi?
Run out from the 90 window to get a C4 kill of all things. Dubs there, you know,
they are feeling it right now.
A little bit of a vac moment from Dubs there, looking at a player through the wall, but was just a repel in. Bembo as well with a nice pick onto Semi, getting traded out a little bit late there, but that is your sledge off the board and a C4. Well, never mind, not a C4, but just your sledge off the board for Genesis. So that's a set of frag grenades you're not going to have. Bembo here as well, pushing up aggressively, but wall getting reinforced off. Opportunity is
90. No.
Oh, Goons from 90 getting a amazing pre-fire shot onto Goons here, and Yeji, unaware of the C4 being pre-ripped, might end up going down to a good toss coming out from Goons here. It sails, and it is almost true. That is 40 HP off of Yeji here, and as well, two players holding their cross. Genesis with a minute 40 left on the board.
Yep, it's looking, I gotta say, pretty good for Eclectiq. They're playing for time, but Genesis are more or less knocking at OBJ door, so a kill going the right or the wrong way, depending on who you're rooting for, could drastically alter the outcome of the round.
Oh
Oh,
my
flashing
goodness.
yourself, that's not good, but the power is on the bomb sites. Does not matter, does not matter. You might be sitting in or outside of the room. A bullet to the face is going to ruin your day regardless.
Yeah,
And
that is a much different look coming out from Eclectiq in
mhm.
that second round. It seems as though they're getting their little bit of rust from that technical break there. We are actually mirroring a little bit of what happened from the first map, that being that being Genesis getting the first round and then Eclectic getting the second. I'm not one to say patterns repeat themselves, but could we potentially be seeing the second 7-0 reverse after the first round is lost?
Different maps, it's possible. I am sorry. I'm gonna have to respond to another player question right now. That's what happens when you were not scheduled to cast and then you have to bid for someone. So let's stick to Z's POV, and I'm gonna let you cover for me for 30 some seconds.
No problem. And as we are watching here, Z currently reinforcing and being told, no, no, not that wall. Reinforce this one. You're ruining the strat. But as well, we have Semi on an interesting strat as well, bringing out the Spaz 15 or well, Spaz 12. My
Spaz
bad.
12.
Spaz
Yeah, 50 Discavera.
12. Yeah, and Thunderbird. Don't forget.
True, true. All right. I've never in a single match seen
Oh,
personally Thunderbird with the shotgun.
Thunderbird with the shotgun is one of my favorite pocket strats because it is similar to running a smoke, in my personal opinion. You have
Yeah, fair.
you have a very powerful semi-automatic shotgun with a very good side piece in the Bearing 9 SMG pistol. So it's a combination that could very well catch people off guard in a lot of cases, since you still have that mid-range versatility with the Bearing 9, but as well, Goons getting quite aggressive, peeking over towards the master balcony here. And as well, the power on Flores, no drone currently used, and Goons from the art studio does take down Yeji, but Bambo with a nice trade onto Z. That's going to be multiple Wamai discs no longer being able to be deployed. However, 3 to 4 have already gone out onto the field, so that is 4 points of pain for Genesis that they still have to clear.
Indeed. I do not know which team actually came out ahead on that front, because so you're going to know that there's a roamer outside. When my discs get better and better the later the round progresses, because not as pronounced as a smoke, obviously, but when you're in the last few seconds, there's going to be a kill. That's a freebie. If you're within 5 seconds of the end of the round and your frag grenade, which was supposed to put an end to the round, gets snatched, you're screwed. Semi is just gonna get a nasty pick here, and this exactly shows what the shotgun is good at: close ranges and closed spaces, aka exactly where Semi is standing right now. Opening that up is going to be another useful feature of the Aruna gates, being able to redeploy them as the round progresses. See right here, Semi could get another triple kill. That could be a nice. Oh no, he gets me shut down. Bambo with a quad though. So should Genesis win this, it's going to be an ace.
Bambo now in a 1 versus 1 situation on 60 HP Quella, however sitting at full, and
That ping.
Bambo being pinged out from the default astrology camera or a Valkyrie cam, don't know which. Very well could be swung, and Koala, a very good clutch and control of nerves in that situation to cinch it out for Eclectiq, putting them up now 2 rounds to 1.
Yeah, so we saw Genesis just beat out Eclectiq for the first round, right? If I was to look up the historical data here, we saw that on the first map too, and Eclectiq went on to win that one 7-1. It is too early to call if we're going to see a repeat of Oregon or if Villa is going to end up playing out as its own independent separate thing. But yeah, so far the data is looking plausible as to the hypothetical of having that scenario play out a second time. English is hard. I'm so sorry. I always take the roundabout way of explaining something simple.
It is perfectly all right. I can understand English not being your first language. I'm not going to complain one bit. We here in the Siege
Thank you, kind
community
stranger.
love French Canadians. Oh, I had a little bit of an internet hiccup there, but we are good now.
I have to agree with you. There's like a bunch of talented French Canadian players out there.
Yes.
Well, I mean, my region is overrepresented. It has some overrepresentation as far as like players are concerned. Casters, not so much. But hey, I'm going to change that. Well, we were discussing Thunderbird with the shotgun, and you know things happen. So I never quite got to react to the point you're making with the pocket strategy. So let me just make it here. And this might be, you know, an emotional thing or just personal preferences. My way of saying no matter what you counteract my point with, there's no way you're going to win. The Spear Throw It is a goddamn headshot machine, right? There's no recoil. I don't care about the rate of fire being low because you want to shoot the head. It's going to be an instant kill if I hit you in the head. And that gun is just so good at it. Sorry. There's no coming back from that.
I'm not even going to argue that point. I'm not even going to argue that point. The release of Thunderbird is probably what single-handedly increased the pick rate for Finka moving into these recent metas and seasons. I think that people realizing, oh, Thunderbird's a really good operator, really good kit, good guns, and a good utility, made people realize the Spear 308 is a really good gun, and Sydney, off the back of a black eye camera, does get a pick onto the power, the hard breach, but Bebo does refrag it a little bit late into the round, now putting it into a 4 versus 4 situation, but Koala here on the pulse doesn't see Bembo just yet, but I think does spot them out. So now we're going to be seeing Z going for the swing here.
Yeah, there you go.
Takes 40 HP, a little bit over 40 HP down on Bembo, now sitting around 60 HP, but Z with the overheal now just sitting at a little bit shy of 100 at about 98. But the top floor take is now coming through for Genesis, flushing goons away from the stone door and back over towards red.
Oh, I do not know how that round is going to play out. Oh, where did Z even come from?
I think they've just been here the entire time.
Okay. Well, Genesis, you got some droning work to do. There's no way around that. It's going to be like your homework for the next match because you don't want to have a repeat of that embarrassing kill. 2v3 situation, Z being on low health does not mean much considering the presence of the Thunderbird, but Z does not rotate in such a way to get healed by those Thunderbirds. So I may have to eat my words and say, well, Z is just, you know, one sneeze away from being dead. We're not going to be seeing... Oh yeah, that Aruni Gates are just so good in the later stages of the round because they get reactivated always. And
no.
Don't do the exact same mistake as your teammate. You saw him die.
Okay.
What? The definition of insanity, you know, doing the same thing, expecting different results. Arguably, he knew that Thunderbird was there, so pre-fires would have been possible, and the advantage of surprise was kind of gone. But I did not see any kind of movement or reaction that indicated that they were acting on the extra intel compared to their dead teammate that just tried the same thing before them.
Yeah, and if you saw that as well, Dubs did end up fat fingering their melee key there, so that was a little bit of a detriment there to that round as well, and a little bit of a deja vu moment. We're yet again seeing the scoreline on round 5 being matched from our Oregon match to our Villa. We are currently on round 5, and after the first round of Genesis going up, Eclectiq matching the score yet again, taking 3 straight rounds in a row.
It looks like it might be a pretty short straight for tonight's best of 3. It's not the thing with the story with Maddox is like still in the back of my mind because it's the kind of thing that you don't see too often, right? And I was going to mention, well, it looks like whoever you replaced Maddox for, I want to say it's the Power, right? Or was
the Power
Dubs playing on the first map? Right.
The Power was the person who came in.
So So the power not so I could hardly blame the defeats or the lost rounds on a single player because they both swim and sink as a team. But so far that, you know, roster swap not providing any tangible results. And, you know, with the delay, with the stream delay, there is no way this was, you know, planned out right. Just parallel thinking. Awkward for 1 HP saying, I gotta pick up Maddox. You know,
Yeah.
and OK Space saying, true Castle Goat, the 1 HP classic. So, yeah, I just hope for their sake that Genesis just did not make a massive blunder. Even though it has nothing to do with the match that we're seeing right now. And the push is happening. So let's just look at what we're seeing right here. Because Dubs, I cannot even swap POVs. And Koala already put a bullet in their face.
Oh, not the FO12 special. Currently, we have Koala here. After getting a pistol pick, showing us what they got. And that is the FO12.
The it's gonna bounce. I gotta say.
The boogeyman of Rainbow Six. Right now. Ella FO12. That gun seemingly cannot be nerfed enough to make players still not hate it. But we're going to be seeing a statue extension with Bembo being taken down by Semi, over by Astro, taking about... Well, never mind. That point is now mute as the power finishes off Semi.
Oh, no,
but
trigger discipline,
now
there you go.
Now knowing the second player is inside of Astro, no air jab set up on the master door. But oh my goodness, Yeji with a nice shot onto Goons. Now getting that little pest in the side of Genesis gone, but Haiku still playing here. Yeji, another amazing shot. Yacht here, beefing the shots over by 90, but Koala still standing strong, not giving up the power position that is the 90 quarter, 2 versus 2 currently.
And I have to say, the FO12 does not have the greatest range, so you couldn't peek it like one usually would, right? So it's, you know, just a slight change in their playstyle that shows they're totally aware of the situation. You know, it's small. It was expected outright because this is not like silver level of ranked. But I still wanted to underline that, and I just wanted to basically appreciate the play. Looks like at that range, the MP5K with such a great... The rate of fire was going to be the end of not just the one, but both attackers. And yeah, the exact same storyline is happening under our eyes as we saw in Oregon. So far, it stays true, and we only need 3 more rounds to go. If I'm Genesis, or if I'm a Genesis fan, I'm sweating profusely right now.
Yeah, this is not a good look, especially after not only subbing a player out, but as well, in the same move, benching said player to be as performing poorly, if not worse, than the first map of the series. This is... I don't like to just straight poo-poo on players or a team, but...
I can never truly do that. Any one of these players would just beat my ass. Both in game and in real life. However, yes, the criticism is meant to be constructive, right?
Yes, it's meant to be constructive, but at the same time, when you're seeing the same mistakes happen from map to map, even with a different player on the roster, it is heartbreaking and really, really difficult to not be a little bit brash and blunt about the mistakes coming out.
Call it tough love.
The round. Tough love, yes. And here,
in
we do actually have...
kind of way.
Yeah. And we do actually have Bembo here being the outstanding player in this match.
I have to ask. I'm sorry, I have to ask. Did you spot it? Did you spot it?
No, I do not think I spotted.
Okay, Koala's running the shotgun right now. There you go.
Oh, no.
That's why I was staying on their POV. Yeah, you were mentioning the attackers. I just wanted to make sure we get that out of the way before action happens. Yeah, Behimbo being like the absolute top fragger, both a good and a bad thing, because of course Genesis needs kills to win the rounds. But if Behimbo was to die, the entire round would crumble around Genesis's fingers. That's not an actual expression. I just made it up. Thank you very much. And that run out. Oh, almost. Imagine. Just imagine.
Koala, I think a little bit overconfident this match, running
possible,
not
yeah.
only the Ella shotgun, but going so far as to bring out the BM pick of the M870 on the Jaeger. Now, speaking of, fires their first shot, allowing that gun to be known, and Goons going down on red stairs, being taken out by Yacht, nearly.
Oh, there you go.
Now finished off with the pistol. Their first kill on the round, and as well, Semi taking out Bembo, but Yacht with their second kill on the round, and their last kill on the round in match, as Semi finishes them off with the Deagle. Now, in a 3 versus, now make that 3 versus 2 situation in favor of Eclectiq here. Z as well, nice shot and a good C4 from Haiku. What a very quick round coming out here.
I gotta shut down the nitro cell. When it lands literally between your 2 feet, you're not gonna have time to run away. This was one of the more chaotic, fast, and quick-paced rounds, and I gotta say, I like to see those rounds happen. Because these rounds kind of tell the tale of aggressive, well-coordinated teams that are not afraid of jumping right into it, with no plan B and no basically room for failure. And by that I mean, if you were to be like unsure, oh, is there a roamer in our backs? Oh, do we know? I don't want to commit to anything because they might surprise us, or I'm not sure they can move since the last time. You know, hesitation kills momentum. With no momentum, how can the attack win? They still lost, right? Eclectiq now being the attackers, that kind of threw me off guard for half a second because we just hit the role swap. Defense still lost, but I think you could hardly argue that this was an above-average performance for Genesis as far as they know the first half of that second map is concerned.
Now, might I point out, Haiku with the 6th pick onto Blitz, and ooh, Goons,
They're
a
feeling
little bit of a BM there. Really unfortunate situation, but we are going to be seeing a very solid rush strategy being set up here from Eclectiq to push in and go for Genesis on their defense.
I am curious to see how that's going to pan out, because there's 2 outcomes possible. Either Eclectiq or just beating them no matter which kind of, ranked strat they pull, or they're flying too close to the sun, and that strat is just outright ridiculous, and they're gonna pay the price, and Genesis has, a regain of confidence by the fact that they win a round. And this is gonna be a rush. I mean, Sledge just gonna hit. Sledge with a shotgun, might I add! Just rushing in! Vault, shotgun in the vault, that's going to be deadly! Shot goes off,
no.
1 death. Oh, missing double kill, not quite!
Oh no, TK!
TK, no! 2v2, okay, that's like surprising. 2v2s this early in the round.
2v1?
1v1?
1v1? Oh, Z, that is some major BM coming out from the side of... oh, wow, I don't even know.
I'm so sorry. They said T question mark. Is that like them asking for a tactical timeout or something? I just want to make sure I'm not missing something here. I do not know all the English slang and, contractions.
I think it might have just been them double pressing their all chat key.
Yeah, because let me just put... Okay, my bad. So...
But, this is not a good look coming out from either of these teams when it comes to professionalism, but...
it's banter. I understand.
Yeah, it's banter. But Eclectiq...
We'd rather have both teams be like 100% professional, but it is what it is, right? Tensions run high, and this is still a, all things considered, pretty healthy way of providing an outlet for those tensions rather than having people insult each other for like, oh fuck you, you headshotted me, you bitch, I'm sorry for those bad words. Let's keep it PG friendly. I cannot have the cat running over their keyboard though. So sorry. Get on the ground. Thank you. Okay, the cat is fat on top of that, so I think you heard it in my voice. Yeah, let's talk about the game. Match point. Eclectiq. Are they going to pull something that crazy again? Does not seem likely. We're not seeing a Blitz. We're not seeing like a Lion, Finka, Dokkaebi, Ying, and Blitz combo. Or a Jackal for that matter.
Yeah, seeing a little bit more of a semi-standard loadout.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, back on the shotgun again.
Why not?
But this is still a rush-centered and centric style of roster here. Going to be seeing a pretty quick push into basement. Going to be
They're droning.
going for the Astro side clear from both top and bottom. Dubs, however, does take out Semi, has a range disadvantage with that Mossberg shoddy, so does end up falling in the end here. Bembo contesting, I believe that is Goons on the Astronomy Repel. So they're not going to be able to come in just yet, and as well, Dubs creeping up and around towards the Astronomy Stairs, but Haiku in a powerful position here, pushed up here, potentially could catch Bembo unawares should they go for the swing on the door here, but
I
they
hardly
are
think
just
Bambo's
playing
just gonna
safe.
swing like that, though. I hardly think. Oh, that
Oh,
reveals their
here comes the
position.
swing.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
A little too soon.
Haiku had roughly like seven square feet of like doorway to cover, whereas Bembo was peeking in and had to figure out where in the room their opponent was standing, which is why Haiku had the inherent advantage in that gunfight, assuming nobody had like forewarning through cams or drones of the opponent peeking when they do. But not having the gun up, that could be dangerous. Who said that? That's why watch, right? Behind the shield on top of that, two ADS devices pushing in with
does
the...
go down.
Yeah, that was a nice distraction from, I want to say, Dubs, just forcing heads to turn around. Z gets the kill. But, I mean, still, right? You're putting a halt on the rush, or the push. That gives the opportunity to the defenders to, like, creep back up and, you know, push the front line back. Match point. Don't forget that. If Goons wins this, it is going to be, you know, the end of the match, basically.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate coming out from the side of Eclectiq here, and it is going to be tragic should Genesis end up losing this situation. However, you do have that player on low health, and as well, the power currently on the castle, so this is a very winnable situation still for Goons with a grenade still inside the pocket.
A potential free kill, but don't toss it out at, you know, at random like that. You need a drone because, you know, it was just thrown into the wind, not getting anything in return. I'm sorry, this was not a good use of utility.
Yeah, I would agree with that in this situation, but that does clear out a position, make it to where Goons knows they can safely go for the diffuser there. Now pushing into sight, has a two-player crossfire, and Yeji does end up closing out the round, and in a dominant fashion there, off of back of a 3K.
So we are not going to be going to see the same storyline play out as last time. As Genesis are going to win at the very least 2 rounds. I mean, we're still far away of hypothetically saying, oh, they're bringing this back into an overtime situation. To be honest, I do not expect this to happen. But if ever it was to be the underdog situation come to fruition, yeah, would have to start somewhere. Let's remain positive here. Okay, so I hear Blaze just whispered to me that he had to go for just a few seconds. Looks like there's an emergency on his end, so I will be your beautiful voice in your ears. Let's take a look at this right here. So Eclectiq, they were making a few mistakes here and there, which you could argue cost them the round. Talking about, you know, just Sledge with the shotgun rushing in at the earliest convenience at the beginning of the previous round. That means should Eclectiq just slow it down and just take care to not make the same stupid mistakes again as last round. Ergo, just drone out and keep playing as a team instead of all rushed in from a different angle. Looking at the track record, it would be an almost guaranteed round, you know? The question is going to be, how long do Eclectiq want to just kind of show off, right? Because really that's what you're seeing when you have a Sledge with a shotgun rushing in. Because if they can win with like a show-off, goofy-ish strategy, they're going to get obvious, you know, internet points and bragging rights. But if they were to just goof around for too long, and if they were to not see it coming, well, it could be the story of Genesis redemption. I don't really expect this to happen, but as I say this, Yeji is getting the first pick on Semi. Semi being, you know, one of the, I was going to say one of the best fraggers in their team, but it looks like we have 4 co-top fraggers, Semi-Goon, Z, and Koala with 7 kills each. So it's not as if you could just like cut the head off the snake and the body will totally fall. However, yeah, Goons also, that's a simple mistake. You just gotta drone it out, man. 3, for all intents and purposes, 3v5. A good advantage to have if you're rooting for Genesis. Face-to-face gunfights are going to erupt pretty quickly, in the sense that, you know, that one player being downed was not the fruit of superior gun skill. Goon's been brought back up, getting outside, yeah, being healed by Finka. That is all fine and well, but where will the push actually be coming from? Behimbo really low on health with a low fire rate gun. I don't give them too much longer to live. However, all you need is pre-fire around the angle to make your position known, to tell the enemy if you peek, you're gonna get a bullet to the face immediately, and you know you can be just really aggressive and loud just to make it so that they don't really want to peek you. As a defender, playing for time is a legit strategy. You know the expression: the timer is the 6th player for the defense. Another 2 kills in rapid succession, one for Goon, one from the grenade. Sorry, that is going to put us in a 3v3 situation. Anything really seems possible now. The power going down, the smoke able to play for a time. This is going to be a great loss for the defense and a great, you know, relief for the attack. Eclectiq now back in the driver's seat. Dubs, last one alive, 50 some seconds on the clock. It's going to be a long shot if you want to play for time and try to deny the plant of the diffuser. However, with Koala planting right now, it is going to be a temporary 1v1. So just outkill Goons. And you're going to be in a 1v1 for good, but that is not going to be the case. And Diffuser is now down. Things are really not looking good for Genesis. However, Dubs is not just going to keel over and die. Giving up is not a solution. Peeking in and dying for real, however, is going to put an end to all of their problems. So, congratulations to Eclectiq. This was an amazing victory. 7-1, 7-2. Pretty massive, all things considered.
Yeah. And apologies there for being gone from the broadcast there for just a moment. I had a little bit of an emergency show out there and a little bit of a break from the first map, but Eclectiq does close it out in the 9th round, 7-2. Very dominant showing coming out from them yet again to not only win in 2-0 fashion, but as well a very dominant scoreline on both of these maps.
Absolutely. This is but the beginning of the season, so I could hardly tell you did they I take this, you know, obviously, which is compared to other teams. Did they happen to win against a lower ranked team, or did they beat an average ranked team, which would put them in among the best teams of the season? I am once again going to be disappointed in R6 Analyst because you saw how R6 Analyst was like writing to our kill feed, right? Oh, such and such planted a diffuser or refrag, and yet it's the matches are not showing up in R6A, which is of course what we can use to pull the stats of the players to run statistics, because having to count them manually from looking at the VOD is going to be so time consuming. So we try to avoid that. And so with so many matches not being pulled by R6A, I do not know if this is going to cause us to like basically drop the stats idea for the season, because if you just start counting them when R6A gets fixed, you know, I know it's a new season, R6 or Ubisoft changed things on their end, and R6A has to like scramble to fit the new mold that the game is presenting, basically. But still, so disappointing. So very disappointing. Okay, because I was gonna pull the stats. Yeah, I was gonna pull the stats using R6A to, you know, help debrief the previous round. How many clutches, plants, that kind of stuff could have been really super useful. But alas, it was not to be. Yeah. So from memory, is there anything you want to say?
Not too much. I just want to bring up that speaking of disappointment, Genesis not able to secure but 3 rounds across 2 maps. That is very, very disappointing coming out from them, especially since Bembo on that second map had crossed and gone above the 10 kill threshold. It's honestly tragic that even with the roster change and benching of Maddox in between the first and second map, that they were not able to at least take this to a third. But I do believe that is about all that we have
It is.
for today.
It is.
So
Yeah.
thank you to the Digital Athlete League's viewers that did
Yep.
tune in here today. I've been Blaze. This has been my beautiful co-caster Hans. We'll see
Yes.
you for the next series of matches.
Yes. The next match, by the way, is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to be seeing at 8 p.m. Team Mystic Academy versus Windstorm. Boxy and a friend of his are going to be casting, and this match is looking extremely promising. On Friday, we were going to see Team Mystic main roster against Valors be played, but, you know, latest news coming in. It looks like they're going to be looking at rescheduling the match, and so we're likely going to be streaming another match of those that were scheduled for Friday, presumably Eclectiq versus 1HP maybe? I mean, they just came off of a very strong win, so why not? Alternatively, Old Man & Co versus Cursed Ascension, but I mean, we'll get back to you with the details. Just to give you an idea of what is to be expected, tomorrow, same time, same channel, Team Mystic Academy versus Windstorm. Don't miss it. And until then, guys, have an amazing rest of the night and take care. Just let me find the right button, the right scene. There you go. Have an amazing rest of the night. Take care and bye-bye.